Hey there, guys. Happy Tuesday. We are live on Kent's 5 talking about the weather here in Texas and here across the South from, let's say, Mississippi all the way to the California West Coast area. We're all dry. We're underneath a very similar weather pattern for the next 5 to 10 days. In the meantime, Hurricane Milton is barreling towards Florida. Latest forecast track, which we'll show you in a little bit, has it making landfall tomorrow night, late around 11 p.m. south of Tampa Bay, between there and Fort Myers, as a Category 4. It's currently a Cat 4, but it's expected to fluctuate between that and a Category 5 later today, which, by the way, it was a Category 5 yesterday, which makes it one of the strongest hurricanes on record, specifically in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, we'll show you all that, the details, the forecast track, the storm surge expected across the Sunshine State, and, of course, what's expected here in San Antonio and the region as well. Now, to put simply, it's going to be more of the same, more summer-like heat. Remember, we're in fall, and we're supposed to be in the 80s in the early and middle part of October, but Mother Nature has a different plan. Today's high at 95, which will tie, if we hit 95, that will tie a record set back in the 1960s. Tomorrow and Thursday, pretty much just copy and paste, rinse and repeat, middle 90s. The mornings will be comfortable, so from, overnight to about, 7, 8, 9 a.m., nice, comfortable air. But the daytime highs trend way above average. Middle 90s, light winds 5 to 10 miles an hour under clear skies. 85, feels like 85, and the humidity is not terrible. It's down, but it's nice and comfortable courtesy of a north and northeast wind, which is not breezy or windy. It's a light breeze at best, just a gentle wind. 82 at Bernie, 84 at Lavernia, 86 at Calaveras, 84 at Hondo, near 90 at Lackland. It's about 88 degrees right now. That's probably the warm spot, with the exception of, obviously, anywhere south of Highway 90, which Carrizo Springs at 88, 87 at George West, and 87 at Beeville. Now again, middle 90s, mostly sunny skies today, no rain chance. Tomorrow morning, a light chill on the air. So again, just to reiterate, every morning, every overnight will be comfortable. It's just the afternoons, you get such a strong swing in temperatures from morning low to afternoon high because of clear skies and the sunshine. So tomorrow morning, early Wednesday morning plans, if you're back out to work, obviously, most of us are. 50s in the hill country, so that's a chilly start tomorrow morning, and then lower 60s for San Antonio. So maybe a light jacket for the first 2 to 3 hours of the day. But after sunrise, it becomes more summer-like, unfortunately. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. If you're traveling, obviously we're going to get into Hurricane Milton. But if you have any questions about not just San Antonio weather, but Texas weather or national weather, if you're traveling anywhere across the country later this week, we can go into that forecast. So leave a comment down below, and we'll talk all things weather. And we'll be doing that for the next 10 minutes or so. Live on Kent's 5. So our weather for pretty much for the next 4 to 5 days, we may see changes early next week, but the foreseeable future, 5-6 days out from now, influenced and driven by high pressure out west. It's very weak, so we're not expecting like triple digit heat, but still pretty hot. Middle 90s, warmer than normal air. Comfortable mornings again will be the trend, so feeling good in the overnights and the early morning hours, but the afternoons, we really climb fast, middle to upper 90s across the area. Now you see that area of low pressure that's diving towards the southeast. That particular weather feature will drive Milton towards Florida and back out to the Atlantic by later this weekend. It doesn't look like it's going to turn back to the East Coast. Sometimes these storms will do that, like they'll move through Florida and then they'll gain momentum back towards the Carolinas or Virginia or Washington, D.C. Sometimes that'll happen, but it looks like because of that low, that weather feature over Atlanta later this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, that'll continue to push this storm, Milton, out east towards Bermuda and across the Atlantic Ocean. Now the latest on Milton, you can see it is currently a strong, very strong Category 4. It was a Cat 5 yesterday with winds at 180, which again makes it one of the strongest hurricanes ever to move into the Gulf of Mexico. I believe the only stronger hurricanes other than Milton are Hurricane Allen back in 1980 and then the Labor Day hurricane back in the 1930s. Matching winds of 180. Have there been Cat 5s in the Gulf before? Yes. But remember, Milton hit 180 miles an hour yesterday, and that's extremely powerful. Now it's north of the Yucatan Peninsula, north of Mexico, has a incredible look on infrared imagery. I mean, it looks like a massive hurricane. It's going through an eye replacement cycle, so you don't see the eye from space. You saw it yesterday, but now it's re-intensifying. It's encountering some wind shear to the north, but the water in the southern Gulf is enough to keep it pretty strong and keep it pretty warm. Now it's moving east-northeast at 9, pressure up to 929 millibar. It was down to 898 earlier yesterday, so it's fluctuating in strength. But any plans to travel to Florida, if you have any friends or family in that area, that's where it's going to be a pretty big problem over the next 48 hours. So here's the forecast cone, just showing you hour by hour, day by day, making landfall in Florida sometime late Wednesday night, maybe pre-dawn Thursday morning at the latest, as a Category 3, Category 4. So the forecast is encountering and considering the amount of wind shear it's going to interact with, which should weaken it slightly, but despite any weakening, it'll still be a major hurricane, whether it's Cat 5, Cat 4, Cat 3. Winds will still be over 110 miles an hour. Expected to make landfall somewhere between Tampa Bay and Sarasota and just near Fort Myers. I would say north of Fort Myers. The forecast cone is really starting to tighten in. So this would create winds again over 110 miles an hour. This will be over land probably for about 10 to 12 hours over the Florida Peninsula. Remember, the peninsula is about 300 miles wide. And this storm will be above Cat 2 status for about 12 hours over land. So anywhere in this area, gusty winds, heavy rain, winds pushing inland from the storm surge, those counterclockwise winds, and then moving towards Daytona Beach, and then re-emerging over the Atlantic by Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. Now, going back, as it makes landfall, obviously those winds are going to be devastating, but as it pushes water inland from the Gulf of Mexico, up to 18 feet of storm surge is expected from Tampa Bay to Sarasota and just north of Fort Myers. It does go down a little bit, down to 12 feet towards Fort Myers, even south towards the Keys. But this is dangerous storm surge. This is extremely dangerous, very life-threatening for the western coast of Florida. And then by Friday and Saturday, it's out in the open Atlantic, and then most of Florida is sunny and clear after that. But the next 2 days will be pivotal for the Sunshine State. Mary, you're very welcome. And again, back here at home, guys, it is just dry. There's not a chance for rain in sight, unfortunately. Tomorrow's high, 95, a lot like today. That'll challenge some daily heat records. If you're wondering, is it supposed to be this hot in October? No, it's not. Normal highs are like middle 80s. And instead, we're hitting like the 90s, 95-degree mark tomorrow and Thursday. And then by Friday and Saturday, we cool down a few degrees. I think by Friday, a push of slightly cooler air moves in. So you can see the overnight lows trend down, and so does the afternoon highs. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 91 to 92, a little bit better. But notice the next 7 to 10 days, extremely warm for October standards. And at the moment, hurricane season continues to live on, especially in the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, bracing for impact for Hurricane Milton. Again, it's a Category 4. It's supposed to re-intensify into a Category 5 today. And then wind shear should weaken it down to a Cat 4 or Cat 3 by tomorrow night, making landfall near Tampa Bay late tomorrow evening. Otherwise, we are clear, sunny, and hot for the next 14 days in San Antonio. Have a wonderful Tuesday, guys. Be safe, and we're crossing our fingers for a cold front sometime soon. Otherwise, the mornings stay comfortable, and the afternoons and daytime highs stay summer-like in the lower to middle 90s. Have a great day, guys, and download the KENS 5 app for more weather data, weather updates during hurricane season. Also, any weather changes expected here in San Antonio. So that is the forecast, guys. Download the KENS 5 weather app. That's the forecast one more time. Light winds, 5 to 10 miles an hour, and summer-like heat and comfortable mornings through the weekend through October 12th and 13th.